This is my second interview ever with a student who succeeded on the GMAT. My last interview was 3 years ago with Nandini, who succeeded on the GMAT in her seventh attempt. Her journey was inspirational for me personally. So I asked her whether we could do an interview. She kindly agreed. And now this interview is with Shrirupa. Again, the reason is the same. Her journey has been inspirational, almost magical for me. So we are doing this interview. I've really been inspired by her journey. She grew up in a small town in West Bengal. She lost her father when she was in class 12th. She persevered against a number of odds to succeed, to get into one of the top universities in India for her bachelor's. Then she started CAT preparation, was not getting anywhere. She was almost on the verge of giving up on CAT GMAT. When she came across one of the content pieces, and then she realized that, okay, probably she can also succeed. She persevered. She really put in efforts for 18 months. And eventually she got a 690, not one of the top scores, but a very good score with which she could take a chance at the B school that she was aiming for. Her dream school was ISB, as she says. She applied to ISB, got into ISB, and then she applied to INSEAD. She got the interview invite. She converted that, and she'll be joining the INSEAD batch of 2025 in August this year. So she has achieved beyond her dreams. So that's the magical part for me. So I really enjoy taking this interview. I hope you too gain something from this interview. That's my intent. So here you are. Hi, Shrirupa. Welcome to this interview. First of all, many congratulations on getting into INSEAD.
Yeah, hi CJ. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking this time. And yeah, thanks for INSEAD and looking forward to starting my journey.
So let's start from the actually the beginning itself. So where were you born? How was your schooling? A little bit about yourself before we get into your CAT and GMAT preparation.
Yeah, sure. So I'm originally from West Bengal, from a place named Shonamukhi. It's a southern part of West Bengal. I spent at around 18 years there, my entire schooling and everything from there itself. And we had a very, we had a five member family. I have my elder sister, my mom, dad, and my grandmother. And yeah, after my 12, I moved to Kolkata for my engineering. I completed my chemical engineering from Jadavpur University, Kolkata. And now after my MBA, I moved to Mumbai. I joined Cipla first, and which is a pharmaceutical company. And now I'm with Dow, which is a oil and gas company. And yeah, this year August I'll be starting my journey with INSEAD. So, but I think my family has shortened by two members now. I don't have my dad and my grandmother now. So it's my mom and my elder sister. And yeah, my brother-in-law is the new addition to the family. So we are finally at least four from three. So yeah, that's a brief about me.
So can you share a little about your schooling? How was you? How were you as a student? And you're converting Jadavpur University. Sort of, as you rightly guessed, so I also was not aware of Jadavpur University before you mentioned that it's one of the top universities in India. So can you share a little about your sort of how were you as a student, and then you're getting into Jadavpur?
Right, definitely. So I think yeah, during my school, I was a bit studious that, in that front, I always aimed that, I should be getting more than 90%. Otherwise, my mom would be like beating me for not studying properly. So, yeah, during my school time, it's mostly studies and coming home. But yeah, it's a pretty chill environment that I had like during my school. But getting into Jadavpur University, so that story is bit different, from the conventional ones. So, like in 12, I lost my dad, as I mentioned, like I don't have him now. So, so once so after that, it was a complete change in the family. It's like we also faced a financial problem. He was the sole earner in the family. So I think I understood that I have to do very well in during my period and in the studies to provide my family financially as soon as possible. So it was not important for me to get into an engineering college, because engineering was always in my mind, but it was also important to get into a very good engineering school. And yeah, Jadavpur University, I know a lot of people don't know about it. It's, I think, almost like in the among top 15 or top 10, the ranks keep changing.
Okay.
But another point that was very important for me was, so that I can continue my study without much financial investment there. And all those NITs and IITs there, like you have to spend a lot. But in JU, eventually, I got the scholarship, so I almost didn't need to pay anything during my 4 years. So the tuition fee is very low. It's 10,000 for 4 year, but for me, I also didn't need to pay that. And so it was all, and I also was fortunate enough to receive some of the scholarships because of my joint rank. So it's almost a free engineering course that I had from a top tier university. But yeah, I think going to Jadavpur University was real tough. So from my place, from where I belong, usually I think only one or two could, go to Jadavpur University so far. So it's
Okay.
basically you don't get a lot of opportunity or a proper training. So for
Okay.
my time as well, so I took a year drop. So for during my 12, I could not crack joint entrance, but I decided that okay, I would prepare well and I would take a year gap and take the exam again. But yeah, I think since there was no proper training, there was only one teacher. But yeah, I'm very grateful to him. He taught me all the three subjects. And I think that year I almost studied 16 or 17 hour a day. It's almost like I'm either studying or just sleeping, nothing else, not
Okay.
even going out of my house, because I'm like, I have to give my everything to it, to crack JU. Otherwise, I don't have any other option. I don't know if I don't get into a good engineering college, because in India, if you don't get into a good engineering college, the chances of getting a good job is a bit less. So it's a very competitive market. So then, yeah, eventually the next year, I was able to get into Jadavpur University, and it felt like almost a dream came true, Jadavpur University. So I could still, uh, the day I got that confirmation in the website, I think I checked it almost 100 times to make sure that it has actually happened.
Okay.
So it was a great moment for me and for my entire family. Like in West Bengal, actually, JU, everyone knows about JU. So it's
Okay.
like, oh, okay, you got into JU. So it
Okay.
was a great moment for me. And yeah, I'm always grateful to what Jadavpur University has, provided to me. Free of cost, everything, a lot of opportunity apart from studies. I think, in the extracurricular and everything, I have received huge amount of support from the students, alumni, professors. So always grateful to my university.
Okay. So you were studying for 16 to 17 hours a day, almost sort of on a daily basis, you are saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't that lead to burnout? We talk about burnouts these days a lot. So didn't that happen at that time?
So for me, what used to happen, so the place I was in, you can't do anything else. It's
Okay.
like it's a Indian village. It's sort of you're just in home or not doing anything. What
Yeah.
else you would do?
Yeah.
So not a lot of city vibes or city activities were not there. So
Okay.
that I think also helped me to just focus in my studies. But at the same time, I also had this in mind that I actually think started enjoying solving maths and physics questions. So I never felt that I'm getting bored at all. okay, if I could recall, it's like if I'm able to solve more questions, I'm feeling more happy. So my
Okay.
mind is working that way, that pleasure is coming from that. It's not coming from some outside, okay, whether I'm going for some parties and all. So and during the school, you usually don't go to parties, right? So then, but yeah, I think that boredom or burnout, I never felt. I don't
Okay.
know why, but I never felt. I
Okay.
think that responsibility was also there, that I have to crack, and if I just waste some time and go somewhere else, I might not be able to crack it. And after 1 year, I can't regret that, I could have tried better, I could have given more effort to it. So I think that was there.
So this, so I'm getting a little more into it because this is
Right. No, no, no. It's
psychology aspect of it. So I'm very interested. So what you are saying is, of course, there is a pressure because you
mm-hmm.
lost your father, so you sort of wanted to get into a, or rather, there was a need for you
Right.
to get into a good engineering college so
Right.
that you can get a good job and all that. But that kind of acts as a pressure. So what that can normally do is that can raise your threshold of giving up. So instead of, for example, you are getting this burned out, so you will give up normally. But since there is an additional pressure, so you will not give up at this stage. You will allow yourself to burn out really completely down to the last ashes,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that cannot prevent a sort of burnout in at least in my understanding. So in your case, I think what you're saying is there was also not really a experience of any burnout. You were just
Mm-hmm.
working a lot, but you're not getting burned out. Is that
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying?
Yeah, right, right. Because I was enjoying the process itself. And as I told you, I in general love solving the maths and physics problems. So all that day I'll be like
Yeah.
solving. And the more I'm solving, it's like more fun, or it's sort of a pleasure that I'm getting from those things. So it was, and I think the responsibility or the pressure, you were saying it's pressure, but I think it acted as a motivation for me to work more, like harder. So it was never like a burden for me. It was more
Okay.
like a motivation that even motivated me further to give my 200% to it. So whenever I used to spend more time for my study, I used to feel good. It
Okay.
was never like, okay, I could have done something else. So the process itself was not boring for me.
Yeah.
If
So you
you're feeling
engage.
right, if you're feeling something is boring, then only that burnout or burden or all sort of pressure starts coming in. But the process was not boring at all for me.
Yeah. So yeah. So what I understand, so you enjoyed the process, you enjoyed solving questions, and
Right, right,
of that there was some amount of that kind of pressure. So this is how I have understood it, that some amount of pressure is like some amount of salt you need in a dish, right?
right,
Really, so some push, external push is also helpful. A lot
right,
of times when people feel burned out or they feel they are so much under stress because, right, you need a small amount of salt. You don't need
right,
a sort of fistful or a
right,
bucket of salt. This
right,
is what happens to people's life, that they keep increasing the pressure to push themselves because they want to keep working and then they're not engaged
right,
on
right,
the threshold of giving up. So
right,
keep putting pressure on themselves, and then essentially when they give up, they are completely burnt out. Uh, I'm glad to know that that was definitely nowhere close to the case in your case. You're enjoying, and that I think I can completely relate to what you're saying because in my student life when I was in college or school, I
mhm,
used to study a lot. Rather, that's the only thing that I would do. I was not into extracurriculars or co-curricular anything. So I was just
right,
into just two aspects. So there is a religion aspect, then there is a studies aspect. That
right,
I used to study a lot, and I used to enjoy it. And yeah, that was a fun part in me, and I still enjoy it. I still do that a
right.
lot, and I still enjoy it. So I
Yeah,
can.
you're
So
a great
it's
teacher. I can tell you at any moment.
thank you. So the thing is, yeah, um, I think I missed the thought, but basically, so we can working a lot. This is what I say, and I'm inserting my gyan into it. But working a lot is essentially required to succeed, not working hard.
Right,
right? Working hard is like you're really resisting or pushing yourself, but
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of push is not needed if you're enjoying the process.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
if you're not enjoying the process, it is entirely possible that there is a way to enjoy the process, but if you just need to look at it in a different way, or possibly you need to change the process itself.
Right, right, right. Definitely. I think you can't push yourself for something you are not even enjoying, because I never wanted to be a doctor. Or suppose, my mom wanted for me a doctor, then it has to be a push. It's like I'm not I'm not enjoying those biology subjects, and I'm just trying hard to just, do it. So
Yeah.
then that would have been like a burden for me. But yeah, it was that this joint engine for engineering was not a pressure.
Yeah. So then you got into Jadavpur. It was, as you said, dream come true.
Right,
Um,
right.
Must be a big moment for your family also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was, it was. Everyone was very, very happy that day.
And then during the university itself, you got placed during your college 4 years, or after sort of the college you got into some company.
No, no, no. So during the college, like
That's
so usually companies visit the campus during the third year itself, like the fourth year beginning. So CIPLA visited the campus. So CIPLA usually have this flagship program alive. So they go to IIT BHU and Jadavpur.
okay.
So they come to campus. I have applied for it and I got selected. So it's a campus recruitment.
And so how was that moment when when
Ah,
you
yes, yes, it was really good because I think I got placed a little late. Then because the placement season started in July, and I got placed in November because I was very sure that I want to go into core segment. I don't want to go to
okay.
consulting, IT analyst. So I didn't want to be that. So then that is why I didn't apply to a lot of companies. So I think I applied only to three companies, and the first one itself as well. So in the engineering, I didn't want to go to design. I wanted to be in the process part. So it's a chemical engineering term.
Okay.
So in a lot of chemical engineering companies were offering the role which I was not interested
Okay.
in. So
Okay.
that is why, but yeah, at the same time, the pressure started building up in me that, okay, I haven't placed yet. All my friends got placed and I'm still trying. But again, I was sure that I don't want to be in something where I would not even enjoy the role. So that is why I selected few companies and I applied just for those. And luckily, I think placement also depends on your luck in that day.
Yeah.
What when it's not only about your skills. But yeah, Sipla happened. I got my favorite role. So I was very happy. I called my mom just after getting the offer. Then I converted, and she was also very happy because it's the first job. The
Yeah.
first job and the first offer is always important and special. And when the role where you wanted to go,
Yeah.
so it was really amazing. Fourth year.
But
So,
it's very interesting thing that you mentioned that you were not applying to consulting or IT firm. They must be paying, I think, higher or probably much higher than the
right.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
right.
and, and given, especially given the financial condition,
Mm-hmm.
you were able to take that call. No, I would still not go into these companies.
Yeah, yeah. So chemical companies pay well. It's not like
Yeah.
they, the pay is that less that you can't even join those chemical companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, it's the growth. Sometimes it's not that high like a consulting firm,
Yeah.
but it's a decent that you can, stay in a good place, take care of your family, everything can happen. So the pay is decent. That is there. So that is why I thought, see, salary and everything is fine, but you also need to find where you have the interest. I have studied chemical engineering. I had the interest, so I thought that I would explore it again, and I would see how it actually is happening in the industry. I would not just completely leave it after my 4 years of chemical engineering and going into a place where there's no connection with chemical engineering. So I thought it has to be matched with your passion, and then your salary. Everything is important. So you can't just, think about only one aspect of it.
That is your gut level clarity, I think, as we talk about in GMAT. So, Sachi, but I understand this is so much very obvious to you that, yeah, obviously, I won't just look at salary. But I think, at least what I've heard and what I've seen to some extent, at least, that a lot of people sort of go into consulting firms or IT firms just because they are paying higher salaries. I'm not saying, I was not saying that chemical companies don't pay well. I was just saying that some of the IT companies or some of the consulting companies
Right.
pay much higher than, let's say, chemical companies would pay. So,
Yeah.
so a lot of people sort of prioritize the company that they want to get into depending upon the pay package that they're offering.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, so I
Right.
think in your case, you were sort of clear that okay, salary is one part. They are paying me decently well. Super. So let me now focus on my uh, sort of area that I'm interested in.
Yes, yes. And life is not over. It's not just the one company, that you have to end your life. You can definitely change your stream, and everything you can change afterwards. But it's
Yeah,
like that moment I wanted to explore chemical industry more. So decided to go there.
interesting. So you were working in the chemical company Cipla, right? Uh,
Right,
and
right.
then you shifted to Dow.
Dow.
Uh,
Yes, it's
uh,
Dow Chemical. Again, a chemical company. So
and then you started your CAT preparation when you were in Dow.
no, I was in Cipla when I started
Yeah.
preparing, for
Why?
yeah,
And
yeah.
you were
So
in chemical company. Your passion was into that. So
so
why?
I think lot of things, people misjudge it, I would say, because it's not that just because you are in a chemical company, that does not mean that they don't have any business aspect of it, right?
Yeah,
The chemical companies as well needs to do some business, right?
yeah,
So then my motto was that I would use my chemical knowledge, I would have some industry experience, but then I would want to be in the business segment of a chemical company. So that's I know, very specific. And I think that interest of business or business, case studies and everything, that came into me when during my college I got the chance to be involved with entrepreneurship cell. And there a lot of people were talking about startups, business ideas, and I had no idea about it, coming from a pure science background and be in an engineering school, never
yeah,
thought of it. But then gradually I understood that how business can make an impact. It's not just technology. If it's not commercially viable, nothing is workable here.
yeah.
So that is how, and I started realizing that I am liking those case studies, or those ideas where you are merging both technology and business together. So then I have talked to a lot of my seniors as well, that how I can build more knowledge into it. So they said that, if you want to build more knowledge and get more knowledge about business, you might have to go for an MBA. So
Okay.
that's it. And during that time, my mindset was I would go into a chemical industry, have gained some experiences, and then maybe go to a business school and learn some of those, business basics and base, and would strengthen my base. And at the same time, and again, I would come back to a uh, chemical industry again. So that was the sort of a rough idea, but frankly speaking, I did not have a lot of clarity to it. But what I understood, that technology or knowledge about technology is not enough. You need
Yeah.
to do more, to excel in a chemical industry itself.
Okay.
So that was the reason why I started preparing for CAT.
And when was it? Which year?
I think I started in January 21.
January 21 you started. And
Yeah, yeah,
how was your preparation? What did you do? And how did it go?
yeah, right. So CAT experience, I like was a bit painful for me. So LRDI and Quant was fine. It
Okay.
was like a smooth ride. Didn't face a lot of problem there. But Varval was a real pain for me. I think it was like I did not have any idea. It was like, okay, how to approach the RCs, how to even how can this argument is weakening a statement. I have no clarity to it. It's like, and even if I am going to a coaching center, I did not even find good coaches, I would say, who would explain everything from the beginning. And there was a lot of doubt. I have practiced a lot and spent most of my time for the verbal, but scores were very fluctuating. Sometimes I'm getting good scores, sometimes I'm even getting 0, 1, 2. So because I am not having those clarities.
Acha.
And uh and I miserably failed at CAT like in November 21. And almost decided that if I don't improve my verbal, and if I don't know it from the very beginning, it's not possible. And a lot of rumors and a lot of students, and even some of the coaches even told me that if you don't have those strong graphs from the beginning, it's not possible.
Acha.
Sometimes you'll be having those disadvantages. So that is like a moment where I felt that I will never be able to crack CAT. Because
Right.
there's no way. I'm not able to read artsies, and everyone is saying that you have to read it within 2 minutes. And people who are able to do it because they have been doing it for the last 25 years, or maybe like last in during their school, which I didn't do it. So then
Yeah.
it's a question like whether at all will I be able to do it. So, and that is how I ended up, deciding for GMAT, which is actually a controversy. GMAT verbal is tougher than CAT verbal.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. So, I remember that I failed in CAT, and then I decided to give ZAT because people usually first they go for CAT and then they're like, okay, let us prepare for ZAT now.
Yeah.
So during ZAT, I think ZAT and GMAT format is a bit of similar. So then
Okay.
I started, preparing, like started solving some of the CR questions from GMAT Club. And that is how I ended up knowing you, reading those explanations of CR in the GMAT Club. And I saw that how you're solving those questions from the very beginning, stating an argument, what is the critical thing. And I have never seen from any coach during my CAT experience that explaining it that clearly. It's like when I'm reading it, it's very clear. So then I went to your website, I searched a lot about, okay, what are the things in GMAT you can do. And I think there were also posts like anyone can ace GMAT. I think you have written some post about that as well. And you have clarified it, you have explained it very logically that how you can actually do it. And then some of those, I think, YouTube videos that you had when you were literally explaining how to read a sentence. So then I understood that this is somehow would be very beneficial for me, because someone is actually explaining how to do it, because I otherwise I'm not able to understand how to do it, and someone is actually saying that okay, you can actually ace it. So that is how I searched it more, and at the same time I have realized that I have already having some 2 years of OPEX. So it makes more sense for me if I, because at that time I already understood that CAT verbal was very tough for me. So GMAT verbal is going to be a bit tougher for me, and I might take even 1, 2 years. So that was very clear to me. So it's
Okay.
like by that time I'll be having almost 4 years of OPEX, which is fine. But then GMAT is the way, because I can't do it if I don't even know the subject. It's like I don't even know how to solve those CR or RC questions. So
Yeah.
that is how, and again, like CAT happens only once a year. So it's pretty unpredictable what would happen that day, because GMAT is in that way, it's a bit, comfortable. You can take it multiple times a year if
Yeah.
that day, don't go well for you.
Yeah.
Is how I ended up deciding going for a more tougher exam, verbal wise. But
Acha.
then again, yeah, I think CAT journey helped me to understand that I need to learn things properly,
Okay.
and it does not matter if I'm going for a more tougher exam, but that also I can crack if I have the right approach. So
Mm.
yeah, thanks to you during my GMAT journey, and how you and Anish both taught me completely throughout, starting from how to read a sentence to how I can solve the RCs, and yeah, it was a great journey so far.
So then, as you started preparing for that, you came across my post, and then you switched to GMAT.
Yeah, yeah. So I read a lot of posts about you, like whether GMAT would be comfortable and everything. And then I decided to go for GMAT. I think I opted for GMAT intensive during 22 January.
Oh, okay.
That
Okay.
time I, yeah, yeah.
I You started your preparation with that.
With that, yes, yes. Before that, I didn't like go for anything. I'm like, I need a structured method, and I think CJ is providing a structured method for both, like for all the topics of verbal, like CRRC and SC, all the properties, rules of SC. So I thought, let me start with a decent one. Let me not just explore in the GMAT club itself.
Right, right. So you started in January 2022.
22, yes, yes.
And then when did you take your first mock?
February 23, I guess.
Wow.
Yes.
1 year after that. So why
Yeah.
this 1 year gap between your preparation starting and first mock?
Right. So I know a lot of people take the first mock even before they start preparing for GMAT, but I already knew that my level is very low. I don't even know how to approach the RCs. If I take an verbal exam, I would get some V18 or V19, not at max, like not more than that for sure. So I said that why to just waste the mock for no reason when I already know I'm not prepared, right? So then, I thought that I would prepare, and when I'm feeling that okay, I'm at least confident enough to take my first mock, I'm already reached one standard, then only I would go for a proper GMAT official mocks, because unlike CAD you don't have a lot of mocks for GMAT. It's like
Yeah,
official 6 mocks you had at that time. So then I thought that let me utilize it in a proper way, and let me not just waste it just for just for checking that okay, what stage I am when I already know my stage. So
yeah.
that is how I decided. So I think January 2023, I was convinced that okay, I'm in a stage that I can tackle the questions and in a timed manner. So this is the time
Mm.
where I should start taking those mocks.
So it took you about 12 to 14 months to really come to a stage where you felt confident that you could take a mock.
Right, right, right.
So didn't you start feeling anxiety and all that after 6 months, 3 months, 9 months, that oh, it's taking forever to to clear this test?
Right, right. So I wouldn't say that I never felt it, frankly speaking. There were moments where I felt like everyone is going for their MBA and I'm stuck in GMAT preparation. And I think that uh, feeling started coming when I was not able to improve my timing. So I
No.
think during GMAT intensive, you also said that after you are comfortable with the approach, you should also start doing it in a timed manner. And I was not able to improve my timing, like accuracy in within 2 minutes. So that is how all these anxieties started coming. But I think I've also reached out to you that all my friends are going and I'm like stuck somewhere. So what I should do? So then you explained me that okay, I think you are judging yourself based upon like a test. You're judging your worth based upon a test, which is not there. Everyone should deserve respect even if they are not able to crack a exam, and it's not like you won't be able to crack an exam. It's like it's the stage where you need to improve. So just embrace yourself and just accept the situation and try to improve upon that. So I think that, and whenever I felt like anxious and everything, I think your those 2 cents that you have said, the experiences of other students who have also been through that, have taken 2 years, 1.5 years to even reach their target score. So those really helped me to stick to the process and not just getting diverted and being anxious. So that really helped me to reduce my anxiousness or my all other anxiety. But then yeah, I think, and that is how I sailed through it. It's not a smooth ride, but you need to have some checks to just control your emotions.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, so, so 14 months later, you took your first mock. What was the score?
I got 650.
Okay. And then
So
how was it? How did you feel?
I actually felt good. So, which is quite, you know, I actually felt good because I was not even expecting something higher than 600. So I
Okay.
was like, the level I was in, if I could get 650 in my first mock, then I can improve. There's the journey is in a good place. It's not like I haven't improved it yet. In the 1 year, I think I have improved significantly. There are a lot of flaws that I need to improve, but 650 is a good score. And for me at that time, because I have improved a lot from the stage I have, started.
Yeah.
And that thing again, I think I just thought, okay, scores are not important. I would just say, and I just face it, and I would just try to make strategy on how to improve it. And then I think you also mailed me that time that I mailed you that I am not in a very good situation. I just got a 650. So then you replied that okay, you are not in a bad or good, like bad situation. You are just in a challenging situation, and challenges are good. So those messages also helped me a lot, to keep improving and to keep pushing me that okay, it's fine and you can still improve, and you are improving. It's not like you are just
Yeah.
stuck in a level.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the next mock, I think I got 700, and
Okay.
the next one
And
I got,
when was it? Do you remember the day, the sort of which month you took the
I think
second?
it was in April. I'm not very sure. So I think it
April. Okay. Something like, okay. February, then April.
February and then April. Yeah,
Okay.
I took my second
And
second mock and
you got 700.
700. I was happy
Okay.
that okay, I'm still improving. But it's okay, 50 score improvement is also fine. But then again, I had a bit of flaws and everything. So I again started working, analyzed my mock and everything. And the day I was going for my exam, I took my last mock
Previous day.
the previous day night. I took
Oh,
my
oh wow.
last
Okay.
mock. So,
Oh
it,
wow.
it
Okay.
happened like I think I have this GMAT buddy. You also know him, like Gaurav. So he is like, "Arey, you should take another mock and you should see what's your score." So I was like chilling and all, and then at the end, in the like 10:30 in the night, I'm like, okay, let me give me another mock and let me see
Wow.
what happens.
Okay.
And then, but yeah, I really didn't have an expectation. I'm like, okay, whatever
Yeah.
happens. I'm just okay with it.
Okay.
So then I got 720, and I was happy that okay, it's not bad, and I'm getting score in that range because I was happy with 700 or 710 score. I was not,
Okay.
because the schools I was mostly targeting at that time, I thought that 700
But
would be fine.
your dream school was ISP, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So I think I told you as well. So
Yeah.
then I thought, I would be fine with it. And then the next day I took my exam and I got 690, Varval 36, and Quant 48 I got. So Quant I was expecting, I was actually expecting 49, but I didn't prepare Quant at all. I
Okay.
think the last time I prepared was 3 months back. So
Wow. Okay.
one took a hit for me. I got 48. But yeah, Varval was a very much. I was not expecting a Varval 36. It was like a dream like come true sort of thing, because I think I told you, was at Varval 18 or 19 level. I was in a level where I even could not understand, like, okay, how to strengthen or weaken this statement. And when you are in the exam, you really know that you don't have
Yeah.
time to really analyze, because your proficiency should be at that level that you just see the question and you need to know the answer
Yeah.
by that moment, because it
Yeah.
just goes away very fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that happened and I got V36, which I was very happy with.
Yeah.
So Quant, yeah, I was a bit sad that I got Quant 48. But then 690 was a manageable score for me to apply for my target school. So that is why I decided not to take GMAT again. I decided to uh, proceed with my MBA applications.
Hmm. Hmm. So okay, so then you started your MBA application. But before we get there, sort of, so in the so sort of, so what really helped you in your GMAT preparation? So there are two aspects to it. In terms of, so of course there are multiple aspects to it.
Hmm.
But one is the sort of in terms of the process that you followed, in terms of how you practiced, and the second is, let's talk about these three: the process, the mindset, and the psychological aspect of it. So let's start with the process. So do you see any aspect of your process of practice that help you improve significantly, as you said in your verbal section?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think sticking to the process is very, very important. I think that you and Anish always emphasized on when you are starting, you should follow the process, like what is the argument, and analyze every point. It's not like just analyzing the correct option, analyzing the wrong options as well. So initially it will take a lot of time, to just solve one question, and then how quality is more important than quantity. So
Right.
that I religiously tried to follow. And then again, it's not easy. There were a lot of instances where I deviated and I'm like, okay, now my gut feeling is like this is right. But then again, that accuracy started falling again. So then I again came back to that process. So again, for RC, SC, and CR, for all these topics, process is very important. And that really helped me, to
Uh-huh.
actually gain the knowledge and
Okay.
strengthen the base, I would say.
Okay.
Second,
So how much time did you used to take initially, let's say, to solve a CR question when you're practicing initially?
right, right. So initially, when I started, what I used to do, I used to write everything because I have that habit of writing the argument, writing everything down. So I think it used to take me 30 minutes to solve a CR questions because I'm writing everything and then deciding which is the option is correct. So
Right.
I used to say significant amount of time. For SC as well, I think it used to take me 20-30 minutes to, come up with the solution. RC as well, like CR and RC as well, like similar amount of
Writing helped you.
time. Writing helped me a lot. Yes.
Yeah. So in general, also I see that a lot of people writing helps, because when you're thinking, you can think anything and then you're like, yeah, this is the reason. But when you have to write, then you have to be
Right.
particular about the words that you're writing in front of you. You cannot
Exactly.
just think anything because now you have to be particular. Which word do I write?
Exactly, exactly. It gives you a lot of clarity when you are writing. So for
Yeah.
SC, I think I have written all the rules. Whenever I'm solving a question, I'm writing all the rules. Even the during the classes, the rules I have mentioned, I have written down everything, and I used to even revise those rules. Like,
Right.
okay, do I know? Do I remember? Because for SC, I think you also need to remember a bit of rules. It's not like everything about practice. So that really helped me. And for RC as well, like understanding the relation between two stanzas and then understanding the relations between even two sentences, and again
Right.
trying to understand why the author is explaining something, why or is author exactly writing this para, what is the motivation is very important, because a lot of GMAT questions would be on inferences. So it's not some facts you can just directly get from the RCs. So if you don't understand the RC, you can't really go there and solve the question. So directly going to the questions and jumping to RCs again will not help. I don't know. So all these tricks and shortcuts, if someone is following, I don't think it will help, because I have even tried it. That didn't help. And then I again had to come back to the basic procedure again. So stick to the process. That is more important. And psychologically, yes, definitely, I would say not judging yourself every other day for doing the questions wrong is very important. and trying to just motivate that. I think you have also mentioned that really helped, that you are already at top 5%, you want to be in the top 1%. So the top 5% is also good. So it's not like you have to be miserable all the time, the with the stage you are in now.
Yeah.
So those, I think those really helped me. I can't explain how, but it really helped me to keep my emotions in check. And again, I think it's also very important to have a GMAT buddy if you have. So I think GMAT is a very lonely journey, unlike CAT, where all your friends would be taking it together. But GMAT is, so when I decided to take GMAT, I did not actually have any friends who were preparing with me. So then this GMAT intensive course helped me to get a GMAT buddy, and we connected, and we also started solving the CR questions, and together, and SC questions. So it's also really helped me, to share your anxieties, to share your doubts with another person who is also preparing. So yeah, and I think method wise, another part I would like to mention, you have in our website, you have explained a lot of CR and SC questions,
Yeah.
like properly with methods and everything. So when I was practicing, I used to refer to that. So it really helped me to build the clarity.
Right. Right. So yeah, in terms of process, you sort of talked about quality over quantity. You
Right.
used to take a lot of time on sort of every single question to really understand not just why the correct is correct, but also why incorrect is incorrect.
Right.
In terms of the psychological aspect, sort of there were moments of anxiety. So essentially, the what you were talking about, let me just elaborate that. So a lot of people get very anxious because they really think that if they don't get into an MBA program, they don't whatever MBA program they are targeting, then
Right.
their life is going to really shatter and all that. So they're putting a lot of emphasis there. It's as if that's going to be a big moment. And otherwise, without that, their life is going to be nothing, which,
Mm-hmm.
as you said, is not the case. Normally, we just look at it in a very fact of matter way. Just the facts are there, right? We are already, a lot of people preparing for the GMAT are already in the top 10%, 20% in the country. Right, top 20% is like, right, even if your salary is 10, 20,000 a month, then also you're top 20. That's a kind of condition we live in. But if you are, let's say, earning 75, 80,000 a month or beyond that, you're essentially in the top 10%, probably 5% in the country. So you're already doing pretty well, uh,
Mm-hmm.
even if your sense of wellness comes from comparison, because that's what I'm doing currently,
Yeah.
right? Because essentially, how well I'm doing, essentially, I determine by comparing myself with others. So, for example, if I'm earning XYZ, I look at, is it good? Okay, how, what are my peers earning?
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Right? And I think that's quite different. Even if I look at the way you were thinking when you were choosing to apply to chemical companies, you were saying, yeah, they pay well. So even if they don't pay the best,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine.
Yeah.
That's the kind of mindset that you had.
Right.
And that was just so obvious to you, but that somehow loses its obviousness as we progress. That
Mm-hmm.
whatever we are doing in life, that's also good. It's not that we don't achieve XYZ, then life is not going to matter or we will be a failure and all that. Essentially, the fear is of being falling behind others,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And essentially, and the reason because it's and I think, as you said, it's not really about falling in career. It's about falling in terms of our worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we disconnect our worth from our career success, then we are not scared of falling behind.
Right.
So what
Right.
we are scared of is not really career or professional success or even money as much, because money, it's not that if we fall behind, we are going to struggle for food or shelter. It's not any of that. We're
Right.
all living comfortably. We live comfortably even if we sort of fall behind, significantly behind our, right, behind our peers. It is just that we think our worth is going to be in question. How people are going to look at us, they look at it with a sense of pity.
Right.
And so we get into all these things, and that's what makes every outcome really big.
Mm-hmm.
So what is really big is not really the outcome, is our projection of our worth.
Right. Right.
If we don't
Exactly.
stop projecting our worths, on the outcomes, then we'll be fine. Okay, we'll give our best. Okay, people think, oh, if my worth is not connected, then why will I pursue it? Well, you will pursue it for the fun of it, for the joy of it.
Exactly.
Why will you not want better things for you, even if your worth is not attached to it? But then you will do it out without any panic.
Right. Right. Right.
Right now, a lot of things we do out of panic. ये नहीं हुआ, then it's really going to be so. And that really, as I said, pressure, how much pressure you can handle in life. So you constantly keep putting pressure on you to achieve things, and then it goes beyond a certain level, and you're not able to function.
Right.
That's
No,
what
no.
happens to
Right.
people.
Yeah, and I have seen like judging yourself based on your like professional achievement is sometimes also very painful. It's like you're constantly judging yourself, and sometimes you have to just stop and okay, I'm done judging myself. I can't, take that unnecessary pain and unnecessary showing off to others. It does not really make sense. I felt like after a time I felt like okay, I'm done. I'm just okay with whatever I am as of now. I would try and I would obviously try to improve myself, but I can't take those pressure and unnecessary pain for no reason. And I think it also helped me because during that preparation it was like interaction, either I'm interacting with you or my GMAT buddy, and other than just my colleagues. So it's like who like they don't even know like what I'm doing. So then I never felt that you are judging me, right? That what I'm doing in my GMAT, and neither my GMAT buddy was judging me. So it's like it also felt a very mentally stable situation where I'm around people who are not judging me, and what at least not making me feel bad about my weaknesses, because everyone is having their weaknesses. So it's also very important to have people around you who are also wanting good and who are also not judging their self and others as well. At least some people, who also help you to lower that burden, I think. So that also, this GMAT intensive course helped me. You and Anish both, I think, have created that mentally safe environment where we all can open up for any sort of CR doubts, and no questions is silly is something you have mentioned the first day. So I think giving that environment is also very important, for someone to grow and to learn more.
Right. And yeah, I think the thing is, the biggest problem is that we don't even sort of give that safe environment to ourselves.
Right,
You said we are constantly judging our own selves. So when we see other, oh, they are not judging, okay, so let me also stop. So that's a kind of a reverse thing. Even if others are judging, I may choose not to judge myself,
right,
right? Because others may be making a mistake. Uh,
right, right,
I need not make that mistake. But
right,
what's happening is I'm making that mistake as a compulsive thing. So
right.
when others I see are not making the same, okay, I'll also stop making that mistake.
Yes.
But this is how I think as a society we have grown, that this is the way essentially we push others, we push ourselves to work harder.
Right.
Essentially, by,
Which does
uh,
not make any sense. Yeah. Like, this is a very
which
negative.
makes sense if you prioritize uh, bettering outside conditions over bettering your experience of life, which is what has happened essentially.
Right.
Since we prioritized improving outside conditions over improving our experience of life, so naturally whatever is required to sort of maximize outside success is we are going to do. So if we need to criticize ourselves to improve outside condition, we'll do that, and that's what we are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when people put their worth at stake, they're not doing it just for fun or not just compulsion. It's also a conscious effort, because they know if they put their worth at stake, then they will work harder, because now it is very important. Your worth is at stake. So
Yeah.
even putting your worth at stake is a strategy people use to push themselves. But what kind of it's a very convoluted kind of life. But why are you trying to succeed eventually? Because it will lead to some happiness.
Right.
Otherwise, what's the point of succeeding also? And
Exactly.
you are going through so much misery to achieve that success. So, but that's a kind of convoluted way we live.
Yeah. It's like you're running for the happiness that you're you're never going to get, because Constantly you'll be judging yourself.
Yeah, because you're constantly giving up on happiness because you're prioritizing uh, that outside thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is what you didn't do when you were sitting for placement. And I think it was so gut level clear to you. And by the way,
Right,
it is not very again I'm constantly talking about gut level clarity and conscious
right,
clarity because I talk about these things
right.
while preparing people for the GMAT. Right? Some people are just so clear at the gut level that this should be the answer,
Yes, yes.
right? And that's what I think your CAT
Mm-hmm.
teachers or peers were saying. Yeah, they have been doing it for 25 years, so naturally they are clear. You are not clear. So of
Right.
course, it is a way to consciously build clarity also. But
Mm-hmm.
in your case, at least, right at that time, you just gut level clear. Yeah, why would I pursue maximization of salary when other things are also important for me?
Yes, yes.
And that's a very simple thing, but I think uh, I am also over a period of time gain that clarity, and I see a lot of people struggle with that. They're somehow in that mode they're really prioritizing outside success over a lot of inside
Mm-hmm.
experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's tough, but you have to have it. Otherwise, your life is going to be miserable for the rest of the time if you keep chasing and judging. It's not helping after a moment.
After a moment, yeah. So this after a moment is also interesting point, but essentially you are really getting into it. But
Yeah.
so it's like when you say after a moment, it's not helpful. So till a certain point, we are okay to criticize ourselves because till then it is working.
Right.
Work and the way we define working is when we are able to achieve more.
Mhm.
But when we criticize ourselves beyond a point, then we stop achieving more because then we are under so much pressure. So there is an optimum level of criticism at which we really work the hardest that we can work. And so we want to criticize ourselves at that optimum level. But if we do so, then essentially we are prioritizing outside success over our relationship with our own selves. We are saying, okay, I'll criticize, and there is no problem with criticism. It's just that after some time I stop achieving. That's a problem. So I'll not criticize. But that need not be the reason. Your reason could be no, that's not the kind of relationship I want to have with my own self. Right? That's the fundamental thing. Outside, everything will come later.
Yeah, that much of clarity I also need to build. See, then I'm slowly learning from you, from your post, from your videos. But yeah, I think I'm in the correct way. But yeah, I'm a lot to go to achieve that amount of clarity. But yeah, I really admire you, for the clarities that you build. At least it's helping me some way. I know that I have a lot to improve, like in perspective wise, but then I'm slowly, that's the incremental growth that's happening, and that has happened because I have met you. So yeah, that I'm always be grateful for that.
Thank you. I'm grateful that this is getting recorded. So my appreciation is there. But so essentially, it's always about the again the process, right? So as you're saying, there is some improvement and all that, but I'm not there. That will always be there.
Right,
I So of course, in terms of very conscious knowledge, I probably have a lot of knowledge because I've been thinking these things for last so many years out of just my interest.
right, right,
Again, I didn't know that I would end up speaking these things and all that. Of course, I'm
right.
now speaking, but it's just that I'm just interested in what goes on within me, what goes on within others, how life happens, what
Mm-hmm.
is life, what is happiness, when are we happy? So just natural curiosities. So yeah, it is. Um, yeah, it's a very common sense thing that yeah, for me, I should be the most important thing. Why should any outside thing be more important than me? For me, right? For you, could be CJ maybe less important than let's say his teachings,
Mm-hmm.
but for me, I'm more important than my teaching. It doesn't matter, right? Whether I teach well or not. So if I don't teach well, I may not achieve success, but will I not respect myself? Will I not accept myself? Will I not love myself? That's still an open question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my relationship with myself need not be dependent on how well I do outside.
Mm-hmm.
And that essentially is sort of the change that is happening within me in a very slow, gradual manner. But essentially, and that leads to freedom. And then I'm not afraid of failing. Um, and that's what I was talking about when we were talking before the recording. That initially I used to be very shy. Shy just means that I'm so afraid of what people will think of me. Now sort of this that has really come down significantly because it's like जो मर्जी सोच ले, I'll not think like that. So if I know that I will not consider myself inferior, even if others think so,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm not afraid.
Right.
I'm in a safe environment.
Mm.
Safety is created by me. That's
Yeah.
the difference. Of course, we would like to be in an environment where others around us are also creating that safe environment, and we all seek that. And I'm also very privileged and grateful to be in that environment. I have a lot of people around me. I know that they won't go anywhere, even if I'm a complete failure
Yeah.
uh, financially and all that. So I know that, and those are the relationships that I value. But within myself also, that's something that I'm cultivating. I should be safe for myself.
Yeah, and keep spreading so that others can learn from you. So that someone like me also can learn from you, because it's also helps us to build the clarity, or at least try to build the clarity.
So we have really gone off the track. We were talking about your journey, then I started giving gap.
No, no, it's totally fine.
So coming back, so February, then April, then you took your GMAT in June or July.
Yeah, June.
June you got 690, and then you started working on the applications after that.
Yeah, yeah. So, I also interacted with an MBA consultant, because I thought he might help me, to build the stories and everything, to write it in a proper way, can help me. So then I took a MBA consultant. He helped me, to structure my stories, I would say, and I'm again very grateful to him to constantly supported me, guided me throughout.
You can mention his name. So
Yeah,
uh,
it's like, yeah, I can, but I don't. Okay, it's Amit Mehra. So like, Amit has helped me throughout my MBA application. So we decided some schools, and then he made me write all my stories from my childhood to till now.
wow.
To really understand, like, so one thing he mentioned really touched me, right? He mentioned that everything what we did in our life, there was some reason to it.
Okay.
Maybe we didn't think about it consciously, but now if we look back, we can really connect the dots on what exactly we have done so far.
Okay.
So we just need to connect those dots. So yeah, I think and then those preparation, we have selected some schools, and for me, I was looking for 1 year MBA course, mostly, and from a great school again. So then ISB and INSEAD was my
Acha,
main priorities.
you were thinking of NCR earlier.
So I was not thinking about INSEAD when I started, my application, because I thought, I don't know, whether at all it would be possible. But
Okay.
then my MBA consultant told me that you have a chance in INSEAD as well, so we should also apply there.
Okay.
Apart
Okay.
from, ISB, since your requirements also matches with INSEAD and what you are looking for, and then considering your profile, you have a good chance. So you should
Okay.
apply for both the schools.
Okay.
So yeah, I ended up applying to both the schools, converted both of them, and finally going to INSEAD.
So let's just talk about you first got into ISB. I think you made a call. I was in Jaipur, I think,
Right,
that time.
right, right.
So let's talk about ISB application. So how did you find the application process for ISB and the interview and all that?
Mm-hmm. So the application process, so usually unlike the IIMs, but for ISB and or any other schools abroad, the essays are very important. The stories, like your failures, your success, what you have achieved, and what you want to do after MBA, and why an MBA and why that school.
Yeah.
So you need to have those clarities first, and then apply for it. So then the application wise, I think it was pretty smooth, and the entire adcom, like the ISB cohort is very, very helpful. The alumni, current students, I have reached out. I think I almost know a lot of candidates from the current batch, which is passing out now. So, like great alumni connection, great students who have helped me throughout, and application was pretty smooth. I got the interview call. I was really excited, when I was see that, okay, I'm invited for the interview. Went for the interview, and the interview went very well. And the best thing about the interview was all of them were ISB alumni basically.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, and all they wanted to know me. It's not like a grilling interview. They just want to grill you and ask random questions. Because I have heard, like, during other MBA school interviews, people ask random question like, okay, tell me
Okay.
about Indian economy, some rules and everything. But ISB interview was very conversational, and all they wanted to know about me, why ISB, and why MBA basically, and who I am, and and whether uh like what's my goal, and whether I'm dedicated to it. So that's about it, and it was very good. Like, I really enjoyed my interview. I didn't know at that moment that what would happen, but I felt like I have given my best to it, and then yeah, I converted ISV. But yeah, but that day I converted, I think it's 17 November.
Okay.
I was very tense that day, dude. This morning, I'm like, okay, what would happen? What would happen? And then when I got the email, it's like I can't explain in words, So it sort of felt really, really good that finally I'm going somewhere, where I was seeing all those stories and everything, for ISB from the current students, from social media and all those campuses and everything. It's a great school, diversity wise and all aspect wise. It's a great thing, I would say. And I was very happy that I would be able to part of it. So yeah, it was a pretty good experience that I had.
And then, then you started your INSEAD application, or you were already working on it?
Yeah, I was already working on it.
Okay.
So I think INSEAD and ISB application is a bit of similar in that sense. So I submitted my application in on 9th November, I guess. So I applied during round two.
Okay.
But only I think one thing very special about ISB and again INSEAD as well. So in INSEAD, you have to write 7 essays and then one video interview just for the application.
One video
So
interview.
yeah, it's sort
Video
of
recording.
a recorded interview, sort of. So they would ask you some recorded question, and
Okay. Okay.
then you have to answer, and they would record it and
Okay.
send it to the adcom. So, because when they are asking more about you through your essays and through your video interview, it's more like they want you apart from your beyond your scores, right? Because scores, a lot of people think that GMAT score is very, very important, which is important. I don't disagree to that.
Yeah.
But I think it just consists of a bit of percentage, not a lot, because your essays, your stories, who you are also is very important,
Yeah.
at least for both ISB and INSEAD. So
Okay.
that is very unique. During INSEAD applications, I've written all those essays, 7 essays, and then one video interview. And again, I got the interview call, like interview email. Then again, it was also a surprise for me because I was like, okay, it's also happening, I guess. And so again, I think INSEAD cohort was very, very helpful. Like, I did not even know anyone from INSEAD. So everyone, I was just reaching out through LinkedIn that, hey, I'm applying on. Then again, I've received the interview invite. Can we have a chat? And just wanted to know your interview experience and everything. And a lot of people actually responded,
Oh,
helped throughout. Even with some people, I had that, comfort level that I'm just dropping a text over WhatsApp and they're reverting back to me. So that sort of friendly the cohort was, like the alumni and the current students were. So that really convinced me that this is a school where I want to go. It's a culture that it's
Okay.
a sense of belonging that you are already feeling even
Right.
before going there.
Right.
And
Right.
again, the adcom for all the doubts and everything. So it was a very, and they would send you all the video guidelines for interview. It's a very friendly, experience, a good experience, I would say, from the supporting perspective that I have received. And for INSEAD, and again, I had to give two interviews with
Okay.
two separate interviews with the alumni. One was an Indian, another one was a European alumni,
Is
and
it
both
one to one?
one, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
one.
one to. Okay.
Right, right. Two separate, with two different alumni. Both happened for me, a virtual interview. Uh,
Okay.
so again, it was real good. Those were like conversational. They just wanted to know me, my ambition, and why INSEAD. And again, it was not at all a grill interview. It's like, okay, do you know these facts and everything? It was more like who you are, and we are very interested to know about you, and who we are welcoming to the cohort. It's sort of that feeling that you'll be getting. So both of them were extremely polite and extremely friendly. And it did really, I think, yeah, I was again happy after the interview, and like, okay, it did well, but I don't know what would be the result. So I think I got the NCR result on 12th of January. So everyone started getting the results before
Okay.
that, throughout the week. And it
Okay.
was Friday, and it was like, today is the last day.
So,
Am I getting the call or not? So,
I
like,
see.
at least whatever happens, I just need the rejections, and that I'll be fine. But I should be knowing the result. And
You
then I
already had ISP invite in any case.
Right, right. So it's like, I just want to know what's happening there. So then I got a call. So INSEAD usually calls the, selected candidates. So when I got the call and I saw that a call from Singapore, I already knew, okay, maybe I have converted. So it was a dream I never dreamed of.
I
So
think you directly got a call.
yeah, yeah, I directly got a call.
Okay.
That so usually INSEAD calls all those selected applicants, like, congratulations, you have converted.
This happened with me with IMA in 2008. So
Okay.
I got a call from an Ahmedabad number. Then I was like, okay, it could be the call.
Yeah, yeah, right, right. And it's like when I'm seeing it from call from Singapore, I'm like, okay, already I know some news is incoming. So yeah, I think INSEAD was a dream I have never dreamed of. Frankly speaking, I have uh but yeah, I'm again very grateful to everyone who have supported me throughout this journey. And I'm going there. And I sometimes also, like, when I received the offer, like the acceptance email and everything, I think I checked it twice or thrice, like, did it actually happen? Am I still dreaming somewhere?
Okay.
Because, but yeah, I think I even sent it to some of my friends, like, please check whether this has happened. So I was, I was not at all like, okay, did it actually happen? They're like, are you going mad? And it has actually happened, and you have converted inside and you are going. So then, yeah, it's a great, great, great feeling. And finally, now I am very excited that I'm going there, and let's see what what happens next. Really excited to start my next journey.
That's so great. And how does your family feel about this?
Oh yeah, so I think I have mentioned you when the call was not getting recorded that a lot of my family members did not even know what is INSEAD. So then, and a lot of people were like, it is NCR. So then I had to explain, no, it's not NCR, it's INSEAD, it's INACAD, it's a school, abroad, and I'm going to Singapore first. So then, but they were very happy because I was happy, I was screaming like anything that, oh, I have converted. So they were just happy with that. And okay, you have converted, you are happy. So I think my mom and Didi also didn't know about this INSEAD. And like, okay, where are you applying? So I have explained, and now my mom is explaining to everyone that okay, this is the school, this is where she is going. But my family is very excited that I'm going, and yeah, like a lot of thanks to my family as well, who has supported me throughout my journey, because when I was preparing, I was hardly attending any family events, anything, almost cut
Yeah.
out, because you have to, when you are doing a job and then you are preparing, you have to sort of compromise on something. But then they have been very supportive, and they were like, we are okay, if you are preparing and not attending anything. I even missed my elder sister's birthday celebration. So I'm like, okay, I have this interview, so I'll not be able to go there. But
Okay.
yeah, I think they were completely very, very supportive. My brother-in-law, my sister, my mom, and they're very happy that I'm going.
Nice. So, so now this journey is over.
Yeah,
Entire, not just the GMAT, also the application.
right.
So let's say if you have to go back and think about it, because I think about it sometime, not with with regards to my MBA in general life, but let's go back to your 2022 January.
Mm-hmm.
You were starting your GMAT preparation. What would you like to say anything to that person now, given the situation that the experiences that you had, or anything that you have learned that you would want to share with that person?
Yeah, I think the first thing I would say, that don't judge yourself, give yourself enough time to prepare, to learn things, and then you would eventually succeed. It's not like you won't, but pressuring yourself every other day, or judging your worth, as you mentioned, every other day based upon whether you are getting a questions right or wrong, it's something you should not do. I know it's tough to follow, but at least we can try to do that. Some improvement can happen, 1%, 2%, any improvement would be helpful. uh Another thing is, again, I think stick to the process.
Okay.
Shortcuts, all those random formulae and everything will not actually help you. If
Okay.
you stick to the process, you will actually end up getting a good score, in a much less time, compared to if you are just following the shortcuts. And third, I would say, also try to have people around you who are thinking good about you and can share your anxiety sometimes, because it really helps at times. Because even if you're following, there will be moments where you will be needing someone with whom you can share your anxieties, your problem, and it's like for that moment you will feel good. So I was fortunate enough to get people around me who could understand me. So that's also really important, if you can get someone to share your thoughts. So yeah, I think these are three things I would suggest to do.
Yeah, so nice. So especially the last point I want to talk about. So we say it's nice to have people around us with whom we can share our
Mhm.
anxiety. You can just listen to us. We are not
Right.
necessarily looking for advice and all that.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
can be just with us. So I look at it from the other side also. So we can sort of course, it's also understood, but at the same time, it's worth saying that we can also try as much as possible to be that source for others, given that we understand the importance that it has for us. So the person may not be necessarily related to us and all that, or there may not be any quid pro quo. It
Right.
just we're just there at times to listen to others.
So I could recall my conversations with my GMAT buddy like Gaurav. So we were constantly like, "अरे हम लोग का होगा क्या?" Then we both were like, "अरे होगा 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 सब कुछ होगा ठीक ही होगा." So then it happened throughout, and again now even I whenever I'm talking to him, and during the applications as well, like अरे यार इतना एसेस लिखना पड़ रहा है, वी हैव टू राइट लॉट ऑफ एसेस, पूरा दिन एसेस ही लिख रहे हैं. एंड
Yeah.
देन लाइक, सो व्हेन यू आर अप्लाइंग, I know, there, and but there would be moments like all of your friends are exploring and enjoying going to parties, but you are the one
Yeah.
preparing. So
Yeah.
then when you are talking to someone who is also preparing and going through the similar phase, it
Yeah.
feels अच्छा कोई तो है वो मेरे जैसा ही पढ़ रहा है. So it's like that also really helped, because I also talked to me at the 25th December है and I'm writing my essays. So he's like, oh, I'm also writing my essays. मेरा भी डेडलाइन है यहाँ पे. So it really feels good, to have people, you are also supporting them, they are also supporting you. It really helped to some extent. So I'm really grateful to him as well, to help me and to guide me and to support me throughout.
Yeah, hopefully I'll also create a video with him.
Yeah.
Then I'll link the videos to,
Yeah.
especially the part that he talks about. This is the part that she talks about.
Yeah, right, right, right.
Great. So yeah, great having this talk. Thank you for taking out this much time. So I think I told you, I think possibly this is the second interview that I've done in the last so many.
Right, right,
The
right,
first
right.
was with Nandini, who took 7 attempts.
Yeah,
Um,
you told me. Yes, yes.
so hers was an inspirational journey. She really persevered. Even when she went for the seventh attempt, she was like, even if this doesn't happen, I'll take eighth attempt. Even if that doesn't happen, I'll go to GRE, but I'll do it. So that's
Right,
the
right.
perspective she eventually gained. So that was really inspiring, and yours has been a very inspiring journey, starting from a small town in West Bengal to Jadavpur University, to almost giving up on GMAT, to picking
Yeah,
up preparation, spending about 1.5 years preparing, getting a 690, then with your dream school converted, you applied to INSEAD, now you're going to the world's top school.
yeah.
It's been an inspirational journey. So thank you so much for sharing it with me, for sharing it with possibly others. I hope that will help many people um, gain a sense that they can also do it, and they also get a sense that a person from INSEAD can also really take 18 months or what. That's not right. People think that yeah, everybody takes 3 months.
Right, right, right. No, no. And thanks for taking this time, CJ. And again, I'm really, really grateful to you that I have met you and decided to start my journey because of you and the way you convinced me throughout your post, like how GMAT can be aceable. Otherwise, I don't think I have ever thought of even taking GMAT. It was you who convinced me to even follow this path. So, yeah, thanks a lot to you.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure, and thank you so much. You have a very uh, wonderful persona. I think it was a pleasure talking to you. A very authentic persona, I would say. Uh, it's been a pleasure. We have been in touch on calls. Sort of, I know you called me when you got into ISV, and then I was like, I was in Jaipur, I just reached Jaipur, and I'm like, she's calling me. There must be some
Yeah,
news.
something
And
good.
then you were already excited. I think I'm not sure I congratulated you before you told me, or did that happen with you, or no? It happened with somebody else. I think with you, you called me, and then I think you told me you got into INSEAD. Then I think,
Yeah.
then I got a sense that people call and they are excited and they're like, gotten. And then, then there was some other call, and
Right.
that didn't even tell me. Congratulate. Why? How do you know? I don't know. I just know the tone.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, yeah. So, when something good happened, you just feel like directly calling to people who have contributed a lot, to your success.
Thank you so much, Shrirupa. And yeah, stay in touch, hopefully.
Yes, yes,
And
definitely.
if you go through daily, or we'll possibly meet along with Gaurav, I think.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, sure. Yeah, yeah. We have been planning for long that I'll come to Delhi and we'll together go to you and meet. So, yeah, someday it will happen, I guess.
Chalo.
Okay, okay, CJ. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye, Shrirupa. Take care.